All right, excuse the poofy hair. We are on our way to this town I think called Cambo. I don't know, Camboga, Camboga. Anyways, it's a town in the Blue Mountains, so we're not going like into the National Blue Mountains. We are going into a town that is in the beginning of the Blue Mountains, but we did rent a car, so you could take a bus or a train to another train to a bus from Sydney, but it would be about 3 hours from where we were staying, and so 3 hours to get there, and then 3 hours back. Versus if we rented a car, it would just take us an hour and a half to get there. So that's what we decided to do. So we are on our way to this tourist attraction called Scenic World. We'll let you know how that looks. And then the weather isn't the greatest. It's a little overcast. So I don't know if we're just going to drive from lookout to lookout and take pictures, or if we are going to like do a hike. But we'll see. We'll see where this vlog goes. All right. So this is a Nicholas. Do you see Nicholas? There he is. And yeah.
Hello. Hi. Hi, everyone.
He's driving. Okay, as you guys can see. And then I'll just show you all the drive. We're getting close. We're like 33 minutes away. So the drive now isn't like super, it's not like nature yet. It's still like towns. So join us. Okay, and so we finally made it to Scenic World, and we parked and we went inside, actually, quite frankly, to use the restroom. We're like, okay, let's go for a hike, but what is this Scenic World? So we looked at a map and we saw that they had 3 different rides, and we just then asked like, hey, like, how much does this cost? And they were really friendly. The staff was really friendly. So it was 3 tickets or 3 rides for like $66. Quite frankly, I think it was a little too much because we only had an hour and a half to do all of the rides because they close at 4. I was a little upset about this, but this is the first one they said to go on. Each of these rides, quote unquote, just gives you a different view of the park, the national park. So this one is their Sky Cab, and it's very high up and it's beautiful views. So I hope you all enjoyed the views. I tried to get my best, but it was a little difficult because, we're all like sort of smushed in here. But they were really nice. And I felt so bad because the guides on the Sky Cab, they try to give you like fun facts of the national park. But you can tell not everyone's listening because everyone's just trying to get their photos. So, this is the Sky Cab. All right, so this ride was like probably 10 minutes not even 10 minutes. I don't even think so. But it takes you from Scenic World, the amusement area, and then to a like lookout point. So you get out and you could just start walking around from there, but we had limited time. So we just went to one lookout point and we just stared at just so much natural beauty. And then we had to make it back into the sky cab. And so we just are enjoying the view for right now. All right, so once we were done with that lookout from the sky cab, we got back on the sky cab, went to the main part, and then we got on this, which is the cable car. So the sky cab is yellow, cable car is blue, and then the next ride is red. So it's pretty easy to just color code it. So this starts on the highest point, and then it sort of descends. And it descends into another station, and from there you can walk and everything as well and see, look through, have a nice little walk through the national park. So I made sure that we were at the front, so that way you guys could easily see the descent. But again, a lot of tourists, so we're tourists too, so you're a little squished, but it's fine. And again, there's always staff members in the car with you, so like they're explaining what you're seeing, but making sure like crowd control and all of that. All right. Okay, so Scenic World is part of the Blue National Forest. It's like a rainforest, right? And there's literally signs everywhere that says, do not litter, because, hello, rainforest.
People don't even need a sign. This is a national park.
I know. Sorry, let me zoom in. See, Nick and I get upset. And this is why I'm like, ugh. And there's literal trash bins, recycle bins, fucking everywhere. It's so annoying. And look, and I think there's like a cigarette pack or something there. So in all our travels, like Nick and I, we get upset. There's certain type of travelers, we're not gonna say, but if you travel, there's certain groups of people that don't give a fuck, and they just treat everything like it's their backyard, which sort of makes me a little upset, because I'm like, how dirty is your backyard? But yeah, and I'm like, hello guys, it's a rainforest. It's a theme park thingy in a rainforest with animals. And you're going to litter? I'm sorry, it's a pet peeve of mine. It's just, honestly. So like I mentioned, we had limited time. So when we got there, the staff member was like, you know what, do the cable car, so the blue one, and then do the railroad one, red, last, because you could walk from the cable car to the railroad, and this walk is, through the national park. So you don't have to actually get back on the cable car to go to the main station to get on the railroad. You can, but you could do it this way as well. And so we are just enjoying our short little walk. This walk had to be 3 minutes to the railroad ride, and you'll learn a lot of history about this part of the national park. I think there was some coal mining and logging, so there is a lot of like history. If we had time, like we would definitely have done a longer walk, read more of these like, I mean, this was a fun little plaque, but read more of like the historical plaques and just learn a little bit more. But we were like, we have 40 minutes left before this amusement park closes. I just think it's just so beautiful. And just to like, even before I got to Sydney, I didn't even know how um, important this national park is. Like, and also how like you could easily get to it, if you have a car. So it was really nice. So they made this wonderful path. Again, it gives you the history of what's going on. There's like a plaque full of tools that they used to use. Because there is a railroad ride, needless to say, back in the day there was railroads, but for like I want to say coal, even though it looks like logging, I want to say coal, but I could be wrong. It could be logging. So they have like little, statues and like history. Yeah, no, it is coal, because on the map, I remember now, coal mine. Like, and you can like, I don't know if you can do a tour of the coal mine, but I think there's certain parts of the national park that maybe you could do a tour. But yeah, so we're just walking and enjoying the view. But I'm trying to rush Nick along because Grant, I'm such a rule follower. Sorry, guys. And I'm like, the park is going to close soon. And he's like, they're not going to leave us here. Like, and I'm like, I know, but like, we need to get there before it closes. So pushing him along. All right, so we get to the railroad and we see that people are still waiting. So I'm like, great, we haven't missed it. For this particular ride, you actually get to choose which seat you want compared to the other ones, and you get to choose who sit next to you. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. Now, I don't know if I show this correctly, but anyways, on each of the doors there is a sign that says choose your ride. Or I'm like, okay, but we're all on the same ride, or select your ride. And it's basically normal, relax, and cliffhanger. And I'm like, what? Okay, cool. And I guess it's you change how the seat is. And I'm like, whatever, like you get to change your seat. I did not realize, you'll see in the next clip, that this ride actually goes straight up. So Nick chose cliffhanger, and that was very uncomfortable.
I know.
Yeah, use the bar right.
Oh my god. I was not expecting that. That's why they have music.
That's why they have the music.
Oh my goodness. I can't. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Alright, okay, thanks. Welcome back to Scenic World, final time.
Alright, so we ended the day on the Scenic Railroad. So it's the last ride. I don't know why I didn't think about this. The railroad is like this vertical thing. It was, and they started off playing like Indiana Jones music for the movie, and I'm like, wow, this is such a short ride. No, it is like that. Like you are going this way on the line. On my Insta 360, you guys will see me pretty much like, oh my god. So you have to hold on. Yes, I did. Anyways, but here, let's show. Okay, anyways, popcorn. It's free. So at the end of the day, this place, Scenic World, if they haven't sold all their popcorn, instead of throwing it away and having food waste, they give it away for free, which is great, because why have food waste? So that's awesome. Anyways, it's about 4. This part closes at 4, and then we're gonna just drive to some lookout points. But yeah, not a bad stop.
Not bad at all.
Mm-hmm. All right, everyone. So we just finished with Scenic World, and now we are at some lookout points. We are at the Three Sisters and Echo Point Lookout. These, from the crowds, tend to be the most popular ones because they're really close to Scenic World. And so we're just going to take some photos. It is a bit of an overcast day, so the photos might not be the greatest, but we're going to try our best and take some photos, and I'll have you all again on my chest so you could follow us around. And then afterwards, I think Nick and I are just going to keep driving along and see some different lookout points. Yeah, it's like, I like this. This is like reminds me. Oh, and here's Nicholas again.
Hello, everyone.
He got us our jackets because it's a little chilly. All right, so let's.
You want me to hold that?
Sure, if you want to hold it. There you go. Look at that, y'all. Like, got a little. My videographer. I like it. Okay, so anyways, we are gonna check out these lookout points, take some photos, and Nicholas is moving the camera so you can see if I can see myself. There we go. We're good. All right, so from here, we're taking like a lot of photos, but there's a lot of different paths that you can walk. And so we decided that we were going to walk this one path to another lookout point. And so you could easily just park your car here. I think I mentioned you do have to pay for parking. So in Australia, I haven't seen a lot of like pay for parking, but this is a small town near a national park, so you do have to pay street parking. You could pay through an app for 30 minutes or an hour, and I think we did 30 minutes, so we were just trying to do this walk quickly. I think eventually Nick actually goes and gets the car or pays more money, but anyways, we're walking to this other lookout point. I wanted to get to the furthest one, and yeah, it's just a really nice walk. It's a really nicely paved, and because this is a lookout point that's very popular, you could easily do this with like the whole family. I think people with strollers, or if you have a cane. I don't know necessarily a wheelchair because there are some steps, but I think you can at least get to the main lookout point, the one that we were at before, if you have a wheelchair. All right, so at this point, Nick decided to turn around because our meter was coming up. And so I continued on with the walk to get to the very last lookout. And then I was going to meet him on the street after I, just finished this walk. And then we were going to go to another lookout. So I just continued walking, for another 10 minutes or so. So the path, had some steps. It was pretty even. And then you get to this lookout, and it does have railing, so you could get pretty close out. So it's the Lady Darling, Darley workout. And yeah, it was just a really beautiful spot. I took some photos and just enjoyed the lookout. Okay, and then from here, I was looking on Google Maps to figure out where's the next place to go to. I actually did a little video of this bird. You'll see in the next clip. It was so pretty. There's a lot of birds in Australia. So here's a little birdie.
Nick had to go move the car because we only pay for 30 minutes of parking. But anyways, he's going to drive a little bit so I don't have to go all the way back. But all the way back is 5 minutes, easy, 300 meters. But I'm going to do 100 meters steep steps. So then I'll meet him there because that's where we said we're going to meet. So let's do these 100 steps. Or 100 meters steps.
All right, the walk up to the street is not very far. Like I'll mention the next clip. It's just a lot. It was just all stairs, and I was just not in the mood in this particular day to go up that many steps. I think also just by this point, I don't know if you guys seen it in the last videos. My whole time in Australia has been inclines, just walking up and down inclines. So I think towards the end of my time there, my legs were just like, we're done walking up hills. What is the point?
This may be TMI, but I don't care. I'm also on day 3 of period, so I really didn't want to do this. All right. But it is good. It's good to move when you're in period. Okay. What was it? Made it. So now I just gotta walk to the front of this hotel and Nick will be there. He's gonna feel so bad because when we saw it on Google Maps, I think we just assumed it was just the same path that we were taking and it would just go up here to the street, not stairs. Woo. Okay. But hey, I was worried I wasn't gonna get my steps in today because we ran out of car. Where did he go? I'll find him. It's like the whole time. Okay. Oh, there you go. Hold on. It's getting a little chilly.
What's that?
It's getting a little chilly.
Yeah, now it's getting cold.
So
And watch, tomorrow is like so much warmer. Yeah, this weekend's gonna be sunny and warm, so that's why I wanted to go to the beach.
Minutes. Grade 3.
So they're all grade 3.
Well, I think it's like, you can see it's a bit of a hike back up.
Okay. Well, it's only 15 minutes. The rest are a little bit longer, so that's fine. And then
300-meter return. Do they mean a 300-meter incline?
no. See how this is 500 meters one way, so 300 meters like return. So I think 300 meters total. No. I would assume that's what it's talking about.
300 meters.
No, that's probably why it's 15 minutes. But it's probably like 15 minutes because of the steep climb. Because because your walk from where I was at the top to where you went to get the car, or like the lookout point,
Yeah.
was 300 meters one way.
Okay.
So if there's something 300 meters return, so that means
Weather changes.
Well, then that means it's only 150 meters one way. Okay. Okay. You're always hearing birds. All right, it was a pretty easy lookout point to get to. Like a 7-minute drive from where I last was. And then we parked all the way up on the top of those stairs. There's a parking lot. And yeah, you get to see these views.
All right, so after this lookout, it was getting a little late and overcast, so we decided to get something to eat. We went to an Italian restaurant. I'll put the name here on the screen. I forgot it. And I just wanted to film a little bit of it because it was just such a really cutesy place. We got 2 pizzas, margarita and like a pepperoni with spicy salami, if you will. And you'll see in the next clip. Nick really enjoyed these pizzas. They weren't like my particular favorite. To be honest, Australia food in general was like eh. So the pizzas were better than what we've had in the previous days, but they weren't like the best pizzas I've ever had. And that concludes my time at the Blue National Mountains. Bye, y'all!